All right. Kick this thing off. We're recording here. I'm going to kick it off with a quote. So this is a quote that CEO Carl Daikeler posted on his Facebook and Instagram. I think it was yesterday, from the book that he's reading. It says, whenever I meet a successful CEO, what's going on here? All right. Whenever I meet a successful CEO, I ask them how they did it. Mediocre CEOs point to their brilliant strategic moves or their intuitive business sense or a variety of other self-gratifying explanations. The great CEOs tend to be remarkably consistent in their answer. They all say, I didn't quit. I love that. All right. So if you guys aren't following Carl on Facebook, on his like page, or on Instagram, I definitely recommend you do. Along with the other celebrity trainers. Not that he's a celebrity trainer. He wishes he was. Okay, so let's do a little recognition here. I'm going to do July Success Club 10 and above. And then I'm going to do a weekend.
I can't hear anything.
Why do people keep getting unmuted?
It's in 64.
All right. July Success Club. These are the coaches that hit Success Club 10. Aaron Johnson and Teresa Versetto. With 11, Angela Broomfield, and myself. With 12, Cheryl Fisher, Emily Crushore, and Sarah Olinsky. With 13, Sarah Fox. 14, Marjorie Foley. 16, Marie Sardelli, Amy Reelman, and Tripp Knowles. 19, Ashley Feldman. 20, Amy Morgan. And 28, Caroline Nathan. And then for week leg team volume last week, so these are the coaches that had over 300 team volume points in their week leg. Leah Hall, Jennifer Conroy, Nick Waltz, Stephanie Weaver, Nancy Nathan, Susie Reyes, Nicoletta Sidowitz, Jeff Leese, Emily Crushore, Ann Knapp, Brittany O, Brooke Reed, Sarah Olinsky, Carrie Steelman-Schmidt, Allison Charlebois, Mike Bachlet, Brittany Dimmick, Danielle Hills, Cindy Gully, Bridget Moore, and Melissa Virgil. With over 500 team volume points in their week leg in the 500 club, Laura Basile, Margaret Mackerer, Andrea Wallace, Second Business Center, Ashley Feldenson, Brittany Miller, Jill Wagner, Kelly Marks, Marilyn Bourget, Josh Morgan, Tripp Knowles, Chris Bachlet, Wade Kephart, and Dave Yackel. Dave Yackel. Got that. Sorry, Dave. In the 1,000 club, with over 1,000 team volume points in their week leg, Gage Ecker, Pete Reelman, Amy Reelman, Second Business Center, Caroline Nathan, Shauna Valenta, Marie Sardelli, Stacy Slade, Charles Wallace, Robert Rodriguez, and Joe Policino. With over 3,000 volume points in their week leg, Alyssa Sardelli, my Third Business Center, Terry Bachlet, and Amy Morgan. With over 5,000, Michelle Phillips, Amy Reelman, Andrew Wallace, and my Second Business Center. And with over 10,000 volume points in their week leg, myself and Beth Reelman. Killing it. All right. So that's the recognition. If you guys haven't seen yet, I posted a link in a bunch of the coach groups. Hopefully you guys, whatever coach group you guys are in, have seen the link that you can click on, go to the website, and put in your zip code, and it's going to show you the closest Super Saturday to you. Most of these events are going to be Saturday. Some of them are Friday night. Some are Sunday. Most are Saturday, though. So find that link, put your zip code in, and find the closest event, and just get there and get out of your comfort zone and meet some of the local coaches in your area. I can't tell you how important that was when I was first starting out as a coach. I don't even know if I'd still be a coach if I hadn't gone to those events and met some of these coaches that were doing really well with this and got to interact with them and see that they're just down-to-earth, normal people, and I can do this thing too. So make sure you guys get to that event. I know it's not, especially if you went to Summit, it's like back-to-back weekends, but it's so vital that you guys do whatever you can to get to an event this weekend. Team Cup. So hopefully you guys are all on a Team Cup. It started August 1st. It goes through the end of the month. Teams of 5. Hopefully you guys, if you don't have a group message going or a group text with your team, make sure you get on one and set some goals for each other individually and as a team. There's different tiered prizes. Like if your team combines for 30 points, 30 Success Club points, you win a hat as long as you made Success Club yourself. If your team gets 50 points, you win the hat plus a t-shirt. If you get 75 points, you get the t-shirt, the hat, and a cool skateboard with all the different Beachbody logos. So yeah, set some goals individually, team, and keep each other accountable. But it's not like a pressure thing where if you don't hit it, like your team's going to get upset at you. It's not like that at all. If you hit Success Club 0, but you planted a ton of seeds during the month of August, that's a win in my book. Okay, so if you want to set goals of I'm going to connect with 5 new people a month versus setting the goal of I'm going to hit Success Club 10, that's fine too. And then you don't have to feel like you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself or who you're talking to. But if you're on a team and it's making you reach out of your comfort zone and reach out to more people and plant more seeds, that's just as cool as hitting Success Club 10. Okay, couple of new things that were announced at Summit. Beachbody On Demand on September 1st. There's going to be a new program exclusive to Beachbody On Demand called 3-Week Yoga Retreat. That comes out in September. I'm pumped for that. I actually got to meet one of the trainers that's in that program. She was super cool. Her name's Faith, which kind of makes sense for a yoga teacher, I guess. But that comes out. That's kind of cool. Like you don't have to buy that product. If you're a Beachbody On Demand, you get that for free, which is pretty sweet. And I think, that's going to bring in a lot of people that aren't fitness people, but they're more like yoga. So I think that's going to open us up to another niche. Plus, yoga is good for you. So it's good to add to your array of workouts you're doing. November 1st, the new program that Joel and Jericho are coming out with, Core de Force, which is kind of like an MMA martial arts kind of workout. I'm looking forward to that one. Then also on demand, there's a Fixate cooking show coming out that's free if you're a Beachbody On Demand. So the containers at 21 Day Fix containers, genius, right? Autumn created those. She also created a Fixate cookbook so that you have more recipes to use with those containers. And now her and her brother, who's a gourmet chef, are going to have their own cooking channel or cooking station on Beachbody On Demand. So not only do you have the containers, the meal plan that comes with them, the Fixate cookbook for more ideas, now there's a show that you can watch Autumn and her brother cooking up some really healthy stuff that tastes really good too. Also on Monday, August 8th on Beachbody On Demand, the 20s launches, which is pretty cool. It's a Beachbody's like first reality show. I don't know if any of you guys watch reality shows. I don't really, but I'm looking forward to this one. It's going to be a bunch. I think there's like 20 trainers that are all living in one giant mansion in LA that are all competing to become Beachbody's next celebrity trainer, which is pretty sweet. So I'm looking forward to that. That comes out August 8th. And then we're going to jump into some takeaways. I just wanted to share this one thing that was kind of like my top takeaway. I just wanted to read this off. So one of the things that Carl shared at Summit was some of the things that Beachbody and obviously him, the CEO of Beachbody, are doing outside of just helping people with the fitness and nutrition and the business opportunity. I think Carl has a bigger vision for what he wants to do with Beachbody and what he wants us as coaches to do. And so these are some of the things that he's doing with Beachbody, some of the foundations that he's reaching out to give money to some of these causes. So far, Beachbody's donated $200,000 to Raincatcher, which is for clean water sources in third world countries. $100,000 to You Gotta Believe, which is in New York to help teenagers in foster care into permanent homes. $71,000 to Red Cross to help with the Calgary fires. $2 million to IJM to help fight sex slavery, which is like still a thing, which is ridiculous. $689,000 to Mission Continues to help transition veterans out of active duty, $586,000 to Upward Bound House to help with homeless families get shelter. Most of them are single moms. $500,000, so $500,000 to Lakota Tribe on Pine Ridge Native American Reservation to help with water and shelter. So it was really cool to kind of see, I know Carl is like this guy that's like gung-ho, like works his butt off, one of the hardest working motivational guys in the world. But it was really cool to kind of see this other side of him, like the softer side, that's doing so many great things for so many cool foundations. That made me really even more excited to be a part of this crazy company. So without further ado, we're going to jump into the meat of the call. What I was going to do, we've done this every year. It's probably my favorite call every year after Summit. We have the coaches that went to Summit get on and share their top takeaway. And we start with the coaches that it was their first Summit. So what I'm going to do is just have you guys comment in the chat if it was your first Summit and you want to share your top takeaway. And since there were so many of us, let's try to keep it to a minute. I know that's kind of hard, but we'll try. So let's start, and you guys can just unmute yourself. Let's start with Donnie.
Hey guys, can you hear me all right?
Yep.
Okay. So my top takeaway, I feel like I had a ton, but my absolute top one was at the celebration the very last night when they were talking about the Beachbody Challenge winners. I feel like sometimes it's so easy to get kind of lost and just think about the money or rank. We're all in this for business trying to, of course, we want to get paid for our jobs and stuff. But like the meat and potatoes of this business and of what we do is to help these people. And I was just sitting there, like during all that, thinking of all the people I know who are morbidly obese and desperately need this. And it was so, so emotional for me because my brother is one of those. So for me, it's very, very personal. And so I think that was my biggest takeaway was like, I need to focus on my business so that financially I can be where I want to be. But I can't forget why I'm doing this and why this company exists.
Boom. It is easy to get caught up in that other stuff.
Yeah.
But seeing those transformation stories at Summit is one of the highlights, and it really reminds you what this company is all about, which is
they were incredible.
Yeah. Awesome. How about Anne Murphy?
Hi. So I was just looking over my notes today just to pick out another really good nugget because there was so much that I wrote down. I can't remember who said this. It was during the afternoon general session on Friday, I think. And it was either Shalene or Carl. People connect with the mess before the success. And I think as a newer coach, it's really easy to be caught up in watching Bonnie and Melly Mitro, Amy, Pat, all you who, elite coaches, and Carolyn, everyone who's doing some great work. And we know that you're doing a lot of the hard work behind it. But, when we're only seeing it on social media, it can get really intimidating a lot of the times. And so I think that was a really great message because the idea that if we're trying to connect to people like us, we need to show them who we are. If it's the chaos, it's, the messy stuff, people will relate to that. We're not perfect people. We try every day. And that just really hit home. I think I met Faith in the hotel on Saturday night, the new yoga instructor, and she's a brand new coach because she's part of this program. And one of the things that she said was how wonderful it was to be part of this community, about how awesome we give it our all. And I said to her, I'm like, we may not be doing it perfectly all the time, but we're always going to try and we're going to do it with you. And she's like, that's the attitude I'm getting. And I think that's wonderful. So I think this idea that, you know, we are always, you know, we're being honest and transparent with our own journeys, people will come to us and they'll trust us a lot more.
Absolutely. They say your mess is your message. And that's like something that I've really been trying to do myself more. I wasn't like great at like sharing my story or parts of my story. But the more you see these other coaches and the more you get around the successful coaches, the more you realize like you got to share your story. You got to. And that doesn't mean sharing like only the great stuff. You got to share like the stuff, the struggle, the mess, the reasons you were attracted to Beachbody. Yes, Beachbody is the solution, but why were you attracted to the solution? Most people aren't ready to hear what the solution is. They can only relate to what the mess is, the struggle, the things that aren't perfect yet. So sharing those things are so important so that you get that connection, and then they're a lot more likely to jump in on the solution with you. So sharing your story, it's huge. And that's not like just throw your whole story out there. Just like little things here and there, you know, like I shared a week ago or so, just one little thing. I got yelled at by my boss when I was working full time. And that was like, I just didn't like that. I had so many people message me and say, I know exactly how you feel. And now they're, I think, following me a little bit closer now because like we related on that level, on that struggle. Cool. That was great. How about Kaylin Britsky?
So I had a couple of takeaways. Celebration kind of hit home for me as well. And that's, I actually called my husband right after and I was just like, dude, you have no idea how much this company cares about the people that are within it. So that's pretty cool. But my biggest takeaway was from Melanie Mitro. She was telling her story and she said, you know, she sees all these people doing this and she sees all these people being successful. Why not me? And I was thinking about it. Every single one of our speakers has only been in the business for like 4 to 6 years. You know, if they're out there teaching at Summit in 4 years, why not me? Why can't I go up there and do it? So that really lit a fire under me, and I'm kind of going at it full force at this point. So my goals are really high now, and I'm just taking everything that she said about, you know, outworking the competition regardless of how good you think you can be or you think you are. You just always got to put 150% into it, and you can outwork anybody if you want it hard enough. So
boom. Can't beat hard work. There's no shortcuts to it. And I think that's one of the cool things about Melanie is she always says it. I'm a plain Jane. Like there's nothing super special about me. I just work hard. I just outwork everybody. And she still is, even though she's doing so well. Mm-hmm. All right. How about Marge Foley?
Sorry, I was muted. I have a couple. A lot of them are, you'll start to notice probably a trend, but if you haven't seen the videos on Bonnie Engels and Amy Silverman's branding one, it was very different than what I expected and really helpful. I think the biggest takeaway from that was just that people buy from you because of the person you are, not the products you're selling. So another kind of line that I've like highlighted, that I posted to remind myself to put myself out there. With all the things that you were mentioning earlier, they're adding a lot of value. This is more of a product thing to Beachbody On Demand. But I think that's something that really, if we're getting people to try free trials and things like that, there's so many more workouts and things that are valuable that are worth checking out. Ultimately, though, I guess my two biggest takeaways are the value of personal development. I was reading Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. And it was one of the, I mean, it's a huge networking event. And it's one that I really started to apply those to. So big plug for that. We hear it often, but I felt always cheesy carrying that around with that title, and it was really useful. The last one came to me today. I'm a teacher, and I'm teaching my first college class this fall. And we were talking about how people who end up in those roles often are disconnected because they've been out of the classroom for so long. And I think that's what's really different about Beachbody is that my coach Caroline, you, Pat, I mean, even Melanie Mitro, they're doing the same things that we're doing. Their numbers might be bigger. They might spend more time working with their coaches. But I think it's really important that when they're saying what, they're giving advice or they're saying things, it's because that's what they're doing and that's what's working. And so that was something that kind of mindset has been really helpful and really made me more open to advice.
Yeah, so true. I think the only difference between anyone and those successful coaches is two things. It's not like that they're any different. It's the two things are consistency and time. That's it. They just had a head start with their consistency, and people have been able to watch them a little bit longer. Okay, how about Craig Benner?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, what's up?
My biggest takeaway, I'm not sure where I heard it from or what speech it was, but it was definitely – can you hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, it was definitely you have to fight for your dreams. No one else is going to fight for you. So just by hearing that, it really gave my expectations through the roof. Like, I'm just coming back. I'm so fired up, and hearing that alone, I've been reading it every single day so far. And I got to fight for my dreams, and no one else will be. So that's like my biggest takeaway. And also, what question you got to ask yourself is, where are you going to be, or not, or how are you going to be successful? So are you doing everything you're supposed to be doing every day? And if you're not, then I just know I got to get to it and be consistent with it. And that's, I don't know, just fires me up. So that's what I took away. And I'm just going to keep diving into that every single day and hold on to that thought. So that's what I got to say.
That's huge. No one's going to fight for your dream but you. And then you got to ask yourself, what are you doing every day to get there? That's huge. And there's going to be days that it's going to be easier not to fight for your dream. It's going to be more convenient not to fight for your dream. And those are the days that really make the difference in life and in this business. So that was great, man. Great takeaway. How about Joe?
All right, I got two. One from Summit and one directly after Summit.
I like your hat, by the way. It's pretty sharp. That's a pretty sharp looking hat you got there.
You like it?
Yeah.
You can see it a little bit better now.
Yeah.
All right, so there were so many from Summit, but like a lot of people, my major takeaway from Summit was, just the celebration of all of the different transformations. It just puts into perspective, what we do. I know for me, it was kind of cool seeing myself up on the Jumbotron as one of the flashing transformations. But, I wasn't alone. I don't even know how many different transformations they showed, but the constant theme, and I know this personally, was that with each one of those, a coach was involved. This wasn't like alone. I know I started my journey by myself because my previous coach, really never reached out to me. But halfway through, I got in a serious accident. And, I worked my butt to try to get back to this, but, there was my coach, Brooke Reed, to, help me and to lead me to the 21-day fix, which I might not have ever tried without her directing me to that program. And that really taught me how to eat. And I believe made this lifestyle change like permanent for me. Because if I hadn't done that, it might have been about 35 pounds, 36 pounds, whatever it was that I would have lost. Maybe I would have done a little bit more, but, I wasn't really following a nutrition plan to the T. I was just eating a little bit better. So that was my number one takeaway from Summit. There were so many more. I think each one of us could probably spend about, 10 hours talking about it.
Right.
My biggest takeaway after Summit was something Carl Deichler said on Monday's National Wake Up Call is, I don't care about Summit anymore. Summit's over.
Yeah.
And it is. I mean, so yeah, I know we're all pumped, we're all psyched and all of that, but I guarantee this enthusiasm you're feeling will go away. Because I felt this coming out of the Dallas event with the Dallas men's event. I was super pumped. It was my first big non-Super Saturday event. But that enthusiasm fades. So what you have to do is jump right on the horse right away and start hitting your goals. Make that a habit and do it. Post it everywhere in all of our coaching groups. I have a bunch of accountability partners between the Team Cup and Caroline and Tripp's Diamond Group. And, you know, I'm telling everybody what my goals are because I want to be called out if I don't hit those.
Oh.
That's it. Just get on it. And you know what? When it comes to next year, 2017, New Orleans, do you want to be there? Hell yeah, you do. But you also want to say, you know what? I didn't waste the time between Nashville and New Orleans.
Yeah. Showed up every day from now until New Orleans. Again, like everybody shows up on the days they feel like it. Everybody shows up and does the stuff when they're excited. The successful people show up on the days they don't feel like doing it. And it's that simple. What we're doing, it's not rocket science. It's a matter of just making sure you do it every day, whether you're excited to do it or not. It really is. It just kind of comes down to that consistency. We keep coming back to that. And then the other thing, the products freaking work. They're the best products on the planet, and they work if you use them, but most people don't. And that's why what we do as coaches is so vital. We're not salespeople. If we were salespeople, Carl would have put these products on the shelves at Walmart and Target, but that's not what he wanted because he knew that people would buy the products, bring them home, and never even take the shrink wrap off, or maybe try it for 2 days and get off track because it was too hard or something. He went this approach because he knew that people needed a coach. That's why he calls us coaches and not distributors. Great points, man. All right, how about Siobhan Feeney?
It's Siobhan.
Siobhan, my English isn't so great.
Not everyone messes up, so I don't take offense to it.
Siobhan.
So there were obviously a lot of things that so many takeaways, but can you hear me?
Yeah.
Am I freezing? Okay, sorry.
I can hear you pretty good.
Okay, great. So basically, I feel like everything I've written down is stuff that you guys have all told us so many times. But I guess it just hit me a lot on this quote, and I don't remember who said it. It was in the Silver Hall D workshops on Friday, but it was, jealousy is a poison that will rob you of your destiny. You are enough. And that really hit me hard because I think it's so easy in this business to constantly compare yourself to where you are compared to other people. And you really just need to focus on yourself, and you're going to get out of this business what you put into it. So that was a really big thing for me. And the other thing was the success partner. I know that oftentimes my success partner and I, we may be like, life will get in the way, but like we have to be hard asses, and you kind of really building that relationship. I loved how, I think it was Danielle Natoni was at mine, and she was just talking about how she sends gifts and stuff and just like really building that relationship. So on the plane ride home on Sunday, like I created a whole entire new to-do list on my phone of what I'm going to do, and have set up a weekly call with my success partner where we're only allowed to talk about business, because obviously we like to talk about things that get in the way, but it's just strictly about Beachbody, and it's going to be every Wednesday night after this call. So Wednesday is our Team Boom nights.
Love it. Siobhan, who's your accountability partner, success partner, and who is your coach?
So Autumn Smith is my success partner.
Nice.
And my coach is Steph Weaver.
Awesome.
I'm in Michelle's downline.
Love it. Awesome. How about Melissa Carter? and Matt. Matt's there. Thanks, Siobhan.
Over.
Hey guys, it's Matt here. I always thought that this was just some little fitness thingy that my wife is doing, and I never thought much about it. And one day she came up to me and said, "I need your social security number," and I trust her because she's my wife. So I gave it to her, and I guess she signed me up as a coach. I never really looked into it. I never seen it, but then she asked me about going to Nashville, and I was like, "Well, you're not going by yourself to a strange city, so I guess I'll come with you." I'm really glad I did because sitting there in those sessions and seeing those speakers and meeting all of you guys is pretty incredible. So I realized that this is a vehicle that can get us our goals and dreams and get us what we want to do and what we accomplish in life. And I've had success in other areas just simply by being the hardest working guy in the room all the time. So I think if we apply that here, then we can go some places.
Boom. Love that, man. Love it.
What's up? You want to speak?
I
Hashtag,
don't really know how you follow that, but
hashtag power couple.
awesome. Yeah, actually, one of my hugest things was Gary. Listening to him, like, he was phenomenal, in your face, like, no sugarcoating. You either work hard and not make excuses, or you're not going to get anywhere. Like, get off your ass and do the work and be quiet about it and just go for it. And Shaun T, too, honestly, to sit through that. I have never done a Shaun T program. I don't know anything about him. I didn't know any of that, right? So, I mean, his talk was phenomenal about just opening up and being transparent with people, and people need to trust you and know that you're in it for the right reasons and everything. So that was something really huge for me.
I like how he called us all out and he called us soft. He's like, you Americans, you're soft. You want everything yesterday. You're not patient. You don't work hard.
True. Patience. Yeah, that was huge for sure.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, so now you're following him on Snapchat, Facebook, and Instagram, and YouTube right now, right? I'm guessing.
And I'm reading Jab, 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 Right Hook too.
Nice.
Just all of it right now.
He's got the best. Awesome. Good deal. I can tell you guys have the right mindset. You guys you're willing to work hard. So I know you guys are gonna have a ton of success. And you're gonna be patient too. Love it. Thanks, guys. How about Kristen with a D? And then I think, what's going on with this? I'm trying to mute. Is it? All right. Kristen, are you there? With a C?
I'm here.
All right.
Can you
Awesome.
hear me?
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay. Hey guys. So my two big things was also Gary with his whole, you're not working as hard as you think you are. Because that's probably the truth. You know, you think you're really doing it, and then like you go back and you look and you're just really not doing it like you really thought you were. It's amazing how much actual free time you actually find in your day that you could actually fill with doing a few more invites or a little bit more PD or whatever you need to do. And then my other biggest takeaway was your story is unique to you. Use it. You know, no one else out there is like you. If you're not doing you, it's not going to get done and the world's going to miss out. Well, I know that for sure was one of the statements that were made, and it really hit home for me. It was really, really true.
Yeah. I think that was Tracy Morrow that said that.
Yeah.
Sounds
about right.
She's our upline coach. She's a rock star. She's another great.
It was amazing.
Yeah, Tracy's the best. She's another great one to connect with and follow on social media too. Awesome. Thanks, Kristen. How about Danielle Hills is on the call?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. Hey, guys. So one thing I really learned was you have to be comfortable with feeling uncomfortable. Like, you really have to step out of your comfort zone. If I didn't, I would not have been on that plane to Nashville, and I would not have met the amazing people that I had the pleasure of meeting. And not only that, I was talking to people that weren't even on Team Boom, like on the plane ride home and connecting with them. And now I've been chatting up with him for like, since we got off the plane from Nashville. So just really stepping out of your comfort zone and just making that be like your normal. stop letting fear stop you from accomplishing what you want to accomplish. When fear is looking at you in the face, you can either succumb to it and just like let it stop you from doing what you want to do, or you can take it head on and be like, I'm not letting you get in the way. Like my goals are so much bigger than the fear that I have right now.
Boom. Love it. Tony Robbins has like his fear test is like, he calls it the rocking chair test, where like when he's 80 years old, if he's sitting in a rocking chair and he didn't do something because he was afraid of it, would he regret that he didn't do it? And if he says yes to that, then he just does it anyway. And he kind of dances with the fear and goes through it and uses that fear as like motivation. Or the fear of regret becomes even stronger than the fear of actually being uncomfortable with all that good stuff. So thank you, Danielle. That was sweet. How about Steve? Where's Steve? From team. What's your team? What's Steve? What's your team name with Terry?
We're Team Boom Fit coaches, I think.
Team Boom Fit. Steve.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
What's going on, dude? Summit was amazing. That's my second summit, actually. Then the first one was like, wow, okay, made me kind of realize that this was real and it's not a joke. And then this one was just overwhelming, incredibly inspiring. A lot of people said it, like the Tracy Morrow comment was just, that hit me. And then everybody else, from Melanie Mitro to the sister, the 15-star sisters that spoke, to Gary Vee, all said the same message: work hard. You're not working hard enough. And I look back and I relate that to me, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm working as I'm on Instagram, scrolling and liking photos and not doing anything. Let's be honest. I think that was probably the biggest takeaway for me, is you need to work harder, and just the camaraderie we have as a team is just incredible. People, since I've come back home, they're like, wow, you're like glowing. They're like, you look so happy. They said most of them have known me since most my whole life. They're like, you've never looked this happy a day in your life.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, it's just incredible.
I think that gets overlooked. Like the products are amazing. The business opportunity is amazing. But there's something pretty special about surrounding yourself with positive, happy people. It just makes you a happier person. It just does. It's so cool. And you're one of those people, Steve. You're the man, man. It was great to get to hang with you again.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, man. I enjoyed it.
How about Charlene? I think Terry said Charlene said, oh, never mind. How about Nicole? Doesn't have your last name here, Nicole. But you commented and said my first.
Okay, it's Castoro Policino. Hi, everybody.
Oh, hey, what's up, Nicole?
Hey, what's up? First, I just want to say how awesome it was to meet all of you who I got to meet. And if I didn't get to meet you, I'm sorry. There was too many of us, but I don't even know where to begin. There were just so many takeaways. All the presenters were awesome, but a couple of you kind of took the words out of my mouth. Basically, like, we sit here and we know Beachbody is good. We know the products are great. And sometimes, I don't know about you, but like, I kind of feel like alone. I'm doing my invites behind my computer. I'm by myself. But coming to Summit and meeting everybody and everybody being so positive and on the same team is just awesome. It's not like nothing like it, really. And then getting to hear like Carl and just knowing how much, $4.3 million they've given away in 2 years, and just knowing how much they care and how many transformations and how many people's lives have changed because of Beachbody is just unbelievable. Totally.
I like how you say awesome.
Awesome. I'm from New York,
I love to see that Joe's like getting his family involved. Obviously, like I have a soft spot in my heart for that when I see coaches getting their family involved. I know it's not always easy, and you probably had to watch Joe for a lot of years before you were able to get on board with it.
He tried to get me in there a couple of years now.
now you see what he sees.
Yeah.
And that's just part of it. Like people need to kind of sit back and watch for a few years sometimes before they're ready to take a look at it themselves.
Yeah.
So, but I was pumped to see you there.
Awesome.
Awesome. All right. Let's see.
Thanks.
Let's go with next is Jennifer Alvarez.
Hey guys. So yeah, it was my first summit, and it was kind of funny because I don't know, when we all started talking, I started getting butterflies thinking about where I was last year, hearing this call. And I can't believe that now I'm on this call talking about my experience in Summit. So it like literally gave me butterflies. So I'm really excited about this. So tons of takeaways. Everybody said some really good stuff. I guess one that's still sticking with me, that's like primary front and focus is your passion, your voice, and your gift zone. And do not apologize for it. So that resonated big time for me because, you know, I'm a very excitable person. I have a lot of enthusiasm and passion, and it's just the way I am. It's how I speak. It's how I carry myself. And Beachbody is able to like feed that in me, and I'm able to give it out to people. But I tend to apologize for my enthusiasm, and that's ridiculous. And it happened today almost. I tend to get stopped a lot at work and like asked questions about like, oh, you know, what are you doing? You know, they just like see me with the product, whether it's my shake bottle or my containers or whatnot. And somebody asked me like, oh, you know, what are you doing? And I was talking about it, and I just got like so excited, and I like went to like apologize for it. And then I was like, no. I was like, yeah, no. So I just like kept going with it because this is who I am, and this is who we are, and we have no reason not to be excited about it, and no reason not to share it. So don't apologize for it. Don't apologize for who you are. Know your gift zone and share it.
It is pretty rare. You know, I don't think you get that in many like corporate settings where Beachbody's like basically telling us to be unapologetically you. You don't get that many places. Very cool. That's a great takeaway. Jennifer, what's the next? Jenny Wood. Is Jenny Wood there?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Gotcha.
Hello. Hey. I guess you guys have said a lot of great things. The one thing that really stuck with me was the belief in yourself. When they started talking about rats, how, you know, Beachbody really believes that we can all do it. And that's something that's pretty special because I've been in corporate for so long, and, you know, the people that believe in you, they may say something, they may not, but the fact that, you know, that your coaches believe in you, and that you really feel like everybody in Beachbody in your community really believes in you, and you have to have belief in yourself so that you can tell your story, so that people will actually believe your story. So that was huge for me. And then the quote, "You can quit today, but not tomorrow." And that was such a big deal for me because some days it's so tough. And especially as a new coach, you get overwhelmed, and then you get scared, and then you doubt yourself and think whether you can do it or not. But that idea that you may not get it right today, but there's always tomorrow. So, you know, be here tomorrow. And, you know, it was just a great experience, and it was so great getting to meet you guys in person.
Love that. Boom. All right, I'm running through these quick because there's so many left, and we only got 15 minutes. Where's the next one? Glenda Cross. Is Glenda on?
I'm here.
Awesome.
This was my first summit. Great experience. Basically, my top takeaways were what everybody said. Biggest thing I found was was just be yourself. Don't be fake. And just be you.
Why not? You only got one life. Might as well do it your way, right? And don't apologize for it. I think it's funny, like, that was like something I was thinking about today. Listen to other people's opinions and respect what they have to say. But at the end of the day, you got to do you. You got to do what makes you happy. You only got one shot at this life. You might as well do it your way. Otherwise, you're going to end up at the end of it being sitting there saying, I did what I was supposed to do, rather than how you wanted to do it. And that's just the worst possible scenario, is that get to when you're 80 and you regret not going after something or not being yourself. Huge. And I just love that that's what Beachbody is all about. They don't expect you to be anything other than yourself. Okay, so is there anybody else that I wanted to be able to have some of the other coaches that it wasn't their first time to share? But is there anyone that was their first time that wants to share that didn't get a chance yet? Also, if you
actually.
Okay, go.
Sorry, I cut you off.
No,
I'm actually not on Zoom. That's why I couldn't type my name in. But this is Jada. I'm Chris's coach.
Awesome. Go for it.
So I just wanted to say I've actually learned a lot from, all the different speakers this weekend. But I think for me, my top takeaway was mostly that, the sense of community that there seems to be among everyone in Beachbody. And that I've actually been, trying to work with more coaches now. And even within the last 3 days, I feel like I've done so much more than I've been doing ever since I joined, just because I started working with other people and started, pushing myself and using success partners and keeping myself accountable, because I've been working with other coaches instead of trying to do everything myself. And by the end of the day, when I'm exhausted, I'll be like, I'll just do it the next day. But this way, when I keep myself accountable, I know that I have to do it because I have to check in with the other coaches.
That's huge. Having that, that's why the team cup is so important too. It's like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you're changing the things you're doing every day. It's those same simple things. But having those other people that are doing it along with you and knowing, that they're going to ask you for it, it's huge. And that's the same with what we do as coaches with our clients. Again, the products work if you use them, but most don't. And having a coach that they know is going to check in with them makes all the difference. Great takeaway. And then,
can I say something?
Yes. Of
Hey.
course you can.
So I missed a little bit of the calls, but I have a lot of overlapping things of what everybody else said. But I think my most powerful thing is that all these people started where we started, and that we can get where they got. We just have to put in the time, and we have to show up every day. And that's something that I was lacking, where I was doing it. Hey guys. But I wasn't doing it consistently. And I just was watching these speakers and I was like, you know what? My biggest takeaway is if they can get it, I love you guys. If they can get it, I can get it too. It's just, I need to, pedal to the metal and actually show up every day. But also I came away and I immediately connected with other coaches and was like, make me do this. I can't just have one accountability partner, because that's like having one best friend. You can have a lot of best friends, and I need all of my best friends to be like, dude, did you do it today? No, you didn't? Well, then freaking do it. So, yeah, that's my takeaway.
You can have more than one best friend?
Oh, yeah. #5 best friends.
I got a feeling you got quite a few best friends because the chat just blew up.
I love you guys. Let's do this once a month.
Yeah.
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 A lot of the yellows.
A lot of yellows. I hear yellows are a lot of fun.
That's what I hear too. Thanks, Lauren. Any other coaches that was their first summit that want to share their top takeaway?
I'd like to share.
Awesome. Go for it.
Am I there? Hi, guys. So I was this close to not coming to Summit, and I'm so happy that I did, because I just had a lot of crap to pay for, and of course that's always a problem. But I think my biggest takeaway, hi Michelle, was in one of my workshops, she said if your team was doing what you are doing, would you be proud of them? And that was just like a major gut check. Like, I really have to step my game up and, do what it takes. And they all just make it seem like we're all superheroes. And what we're doing really isn't hard. It's just you have to consistently do it if you want to move forward with this business. So I just kind of like how they broke it down. And, we just have to do it and fail forward and just keep trying. And, like, if we do that, then we'll succeed. Love you too, Tiffany.
Yeah, I ask that question to myself all the time. Like, if my coaches were doing what I did today, would they be successful? Would it have been a good day? It definitely keeps me accountable, asking that question. That's a great takeaway.
I just want to say something about Shanice. I named her Summit MVP because every time I turned around, she was taking pictures with Melanie Mitro, Tony Horton. Like, she did not hesitate. I would turn around and she'd be like with Anita Myron, like just taking pictures of all these people that she loved, and she didn't care. So I love that. So MVP.
Awesome. Any first timers that wanted to share what they thought or maybe their top takeaway?
Pat, can I share first, Zach?
Of course.
Awesome. Okay, so I shared this last night with Fit Nation. One of the biggest takeaways that I actually took away was it was actually a quote, and it was, "What is for you will not pass you." And that hit. What is for you will not pass you.
Okay.
It hit so home for me because, and I shared this a little bit on my Facebook as well. When I first got to Summit, I was super excited, but the minute I stepped my foot in the door, I literally broke down in tears because I felt like I did not belong there. And when I heard this quote, it just hit so home for me because I felt like, why don't I? Why don't I belong there? Why can't I be the leader that I look up to with all of you guys? There were so many of you guys that I wanted to talk to that I just didn't because I was so nervous to, because I didn't feel like I lived up to your guys' standards. And then by the end of it, I felt like I can do this just like you guys are doing it. So that hit really home for me. So that's all I wanted to share.
I know you can too. You're going to crush this thing. I can already tell.
I put bed.
Your sons have something to share too, I think.
I have. Okay, so I literally inherited my niece and nephew the minute that I stepped off the plane from Nashville. So I may have 2 extra kids permanently that would be staying with me. So it's been a little bit of a crazy ride since I've been home from Summit. So, but that's not an excuse. I'm going to keep my business going. So.
It sounds like you're staying comfortable, or you're getting comfortable with being uncomfortable no matter what the scenario. You're still pushing through.
Exactly.
Good deal. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay. Any other first timers that want to share? And if you weren't at Summit and you have like questions about next year or about Summit in general, this is a good time to either unmute yourself and ask, or you can throw it in the chat box.
Hey, Pat, I'll share.
If there's any other first-timers that want to share, go for it. Marty, what's up?
Hey, man. Yeah, this is my first Summit. And, last year I had to live vicariously through everyone's Periscope. But there's really 3 things that I took away. One of them was, listening to like Melanie and all of these other top coaches talk about how, they're just normal people, like every one of us. And it's not like they were born with these gifts that made them super coaches or anything. That really spoke to me. And then listening to Gary V, talk about the work's not going to do itself, and, really just kind of, lighting the fires, because that's the reality of it, is it's not, we got to get out there. We got to post, we got to talk to people. And I think the other thing with Gary is just the passion, everything that he talks about, you can feel his passion. And I think that's kind of the way that we have to be with this opportunity as well.
Love it, man. It's true. Every single one of those coaches you saw on stage started out as a coach, started out with a day one, kind of not really sure what was going on. And they just kind of kept plugging along and figured it out. When I first signed up as a coach, there was no way in heck I would be getting on a Zoom call sharing with over 100 people. Not a prayer. Like I wouldn't even get on like a conference call and share, like introduce myself. I was afraid I would like forget my name or something, you know? But you just keep plugging along and you get better at this stuff. Just like anything else in life. Awesome. Thanks, Marty. Okay. Does anybody that didn't get to share, first timer, or anybody that didn't get to go that has any questions about Summit or next year, or just anyone that wants to just throw something out there?
I just want to jump in really quickly.
Yeah.
If you ever get a chance to meet any of the Realmans in like flesh and blood, to do it. I mean, to meet Amy, you know, to see Amy because she is my coach was great. But then to be able to meet, you know, Peter and Terry and that, you know, the parents and then, you know, everyone else, it was spectacular. Even your cousin Chris. I mean, like, I think I almost hit every Realman in 3 days, and it was wonderful. So even if you get a chance, I say, you know, definitely do that. If that's the only coach you meet on this team, please meet the Realmans. They're wonderful, wonderful people.
That's still debatable.
You forgot to mention Cardboard Annie. I didn't want her to feel left out.
Well, I've met Annie before, so she's like, you know, super special. But yes, I didn't get the chance to meet Cardboard Annie. So
you didn't meet Cardboard Annie? No. Oh, that's sad. She was a lot of fun.
Yeah, she was a good time.
I heard she was a little stiff.
She was smiling the whole time.
I'm feeling a little bruised up.
She's bendy though, very flexible.
I think I did. I like got handed off the.
Yeah, Pat. I heard you were kind of.
I think that was like her last night out. I don't think I did.
Did Annie make it home though? Is she safe?
I don't know.
No, I didn't get to bring Annie home. I don't know what happened to her. Last time I saw her, she was in the elevator going somewhere.
I'm still in Nashville.
I have to say, after Pat had her that one night, I don't know what happened.
Mom said you
got
were
a little mangled.
She was backstage with Carl hanging out, and then I don't know, something happened when we were trying to go across stage. Everyone was like trying to give her high fives, and I don't think she could handle the high fives to her face. She got beat up pretty good. That's what happens. You work hard to get all this recognition, and then you go on stage and you get beat up by all, like, it was Carl actually that I think did the final breaking of the Cardboard Annie.
Well,
the kids wanted her to come home.
Yeah,
my
kids wanted to meet up.
That's hilarious. Let's see.
Wait, did you want to leave time for coaches that have never been to Summit to ask questions? Like people that maybe signed up for next year might be nervous or have a question about anything, or maybe people that are hesitating on buying their ticket and want to ask a question quickly. Any questions? Anyone?
How many pairs of underwear did you need?
Like 2 a day. Seriously, you guys are laughing, but it's true. I bet everyone I told to bring extra underwear appreciated it.
Hey, Pat.
Yeah.
I don't know of any other coaches who are like hesitant about buying a ticket. I had some coaches who didn't like the initial weekend get a ticket, but then this week we're thinking about it, but we're worried now the hotel rooms went on sale, they wouldn't have a room. In case any of you guys are worried about that, know that all of Team Boom basically booked the entire DoubleTree. And so don't let not having a room prevent you from getting a ticket. We'll definitely find you a room probably somewhere in the DoubleTree. So just make sure you talk to your coach if that's what's holding you back from getting a ticket.
Yeah.
Somebody messaged me in the chat and asked what you actually do at Summit.
Well, it depends on who you are. Do you want to answer that, Michelle?
You go to trainings, you go to general sessions, you go to workouts with the trainers, you get to hang out with your team. At night, we like to go dancing and have fun. You don't have a lot of time. I feel like I ate like 1 meal a day, maybe 2 if I count my Shakeology. It's very busy. It's hectic. It's a great time. I don't know. Did I miss anything? You go shop. You spend a lot of money at the Core. For everyone that doesn't know, the Core is like Beachbody heaven with workout clothes. And sometimes some of the stuff they have isn't ever put online. So coaches go nuts, like buying all the wear and share. My favorite thing are the general sessions. I like those the best.
Yeah. I think if you enjoy these Zoom calls and you enjoy being in the coach groups and you enjoy following other Team Boom coaches on social media, Summit is that times 10. Beachbody just attracts really good people, kind-hearted, down-to-earth, cool people. And the jerks don't seem to stick around too long. They get weeded out, you know? So you get to go to an event with 25,000 really cool people that are really into being authentic, growing, and helping other people grow too. And I just don't think you get that anywhere else. I really don't. So you got to get there. You do.
Yeah, that's a good point to make. You'll never be surrounded by so many awesome people as you will be at Summit. And this is still my voice recovering from the weekend. I talk a lot and I talk loud and I try to talk over the music. So I haven't had a voice since like Wednesday and I got there Tuesday, maybe Thursday.
And I think we're working on the next year, like the Team Boom party. Obviously, like for me, that's kind of like the highlight of the whole weekend because we get to have all just the kind of the Team Boom family all in one place, having a good time, chatting, having a few drinks, dancing, and just getting to know each other a little bit better. It's funny, like you meet these people and you think it would be weird, and you're like, it's nice to meet you, but I feel like I know you so well already. It's very awkward to say nice to meet you because they're like your friends. Like you feel like you've been hanging out with them your whole life. So it's a very comfortable, cool thing. So hopefully you guys get there. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody next year for sure. Any other questions? I cried my eyes out. Yeah, there was a lot of tears. I think that was it. Let me just check one more time here. All right. So if you guys agree that you got to be at Summit next year, you can let us know by how loud you yell boom when I say 1, 2, 3. Does that sound cool? I want to unmute you guys. All right, guys. Summit 2016 in the books. 1, 2, 3.
Who let the gloves out?